So more in the Q&A segment here. Somebody asks, what do you do in your spare time? Answer, masturbate. Next question. No, I'm kidding. What I do is, I guess that question's like, what are my hobbies? I don't know. I love Texas Hold'em. I'm a big poker player ever since from high school and on. I won a tournament. I forget if it was at Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun, but I won a tournament there a few years back. I don't get a chance to play as much as I want to because the hours of the show just takes away any social life I have at all. But I love poker. I'm a big golfer, believe it or not. There was a time when I was younger, I wanted to be a professional golfer. Like, that was my goal. I committed to that. Didn't work out well. I'm nowhere near good enough to be a pro, but still to this day, I love golf. I still play whenever I can in the summers. I work out. I watch the NBA nonstop. But honestly, most of my spare time nowadays, it really consists of me sitting in a recliner because I just can't. The hours I work for the show are so much that I basically have just one day where I'm really off all day, that day being, and that's not even true. I was going to say it's Sunday, but not really because sometimes Gordon and I do the podcast on Sunday. I don't really have any day that's off. I mean, I guess it's 7 days a week if you consider the podcast work. So nothing. I just unwind and try to recharge my batteries from all the hours that I work. Somebody asked, what do you think of the Bill Hicks is Alex Jones conspiracy? It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Somebody says, what do conservatives mean when they talk about political correctness? Oh, that's such a great question. I love that question. Okay, the answer to that is they're saying that their prejudices are true, right? All those things that they just innately believe, right? Like, you know how old white conservatives are like, black people need to get their shit together. Goddamn blacks and government programs make people lazy. And they just have all these beliefs of Democrats are bad. And what they're saying is, if you disagree with them, you're just being politically correct to be like nice to everybody, and you're not keeping it real. That's how they view it. They view it as like they're the teller of the harsh truths. Another good example of this is, and the person who asked the question brought this up, is about Muslims. How if you really talk to an ultra right winger and catch them in a moment of honesty, they'll tell you, they'll be like, whenever it's terrorism, you know it's the Muslims. Now, of course, that is factually incorrect, especially in the United States of America. There's more terrorism and attempted terrorist attacks from right-wingers, from far-right terrorist groups, the KKK, neo-Nazis, sovereign citizens, patriot militia groups. Happens all the time. But see, they think in their mind, it's like, no, everything I've seen shows me that the Muslims are the terrorists, so if you disagree with that, you're just not keeping it real. You're being politically correct. And in reality, the sad thing is, whenever they mention political correctness, what they're really saying, what the truth is I'm ignorant. That's the point. The point is, I'm ignorant because I truly believe that my prejudices are correct. And if you disagree with them by bringing up facts, you're just being PC. So that's a great question. I love that question. All right, next one. Here's a big one. How can you still believe capitalism is the best possible system when we see all around the world it relies on exploitation? Shouldn't we be saying instead of reform that it should be abolished? No, I disagree with that. And here's where I part with many people on the left, or I would say many revolutionaries on the left. I honestly think it's naive to take that position. Because I think aspects of capitalism fit with human nature. Now, the problem is both the right and the left embrace something here that's incorrect. So the people on the right embrace this idea that human beings are not cooperative at all, they're not nice at all, they're not sympathetic at all, and you need to have a system built on vice, that private vice yields personal benefits for everybody. That's the capitalist system. It's essentially the idea that, well, everybody's kind of crazy, and you need this hierarchical system where we have rugged individualism, and the harder you work, the more you gain for yourself, and it's like, fuck everybody else. So that, view of human nature is like a negative view of human nature, that people need to be constrained by this system of hierarchy and that we all need to just work for ourselves and there's nothing to this community idea. That's the right-wing idea, the far right-wing idea. The far left-wing idea is essentially the exact opposite, that people by their nature are basically good and they're communal and they're sympathetic and they care about everybody and they're kind and they'll do charity and they'll be cooperative. So those are the two camps here. I say they're both wrong and they're both right. They're both wrong in the sense that people aren't just dickish, individualistic assholes who don't care about anybody in their society or anybody else. That's just not true. That's like the Ayn Rand idea. It's just not true. And the opposite isn't true either, that all we want to do is hold hands and sing Kumbaya and be cooperative, and we don't care about greed or personal gain or materialism at our core with our real being. Yes, we do. Absolutely we do. So both camps are right. People are both individualistic and greedy, and they want to get ahead. And people are also cooperative and kind and nice and communal, and they can work together. So you need to have a system that harnesses both of those aspects of our human nature. Like a communist system or some sort of communal system, like an anarcho-syndicalist system, I don't think that accounts enough for that competition gene and that want to be individuals and to accumulate material goods and to get further than the next guy and win. A communist or far left system doesn't account for that at all, and I think they're wrong to do that. And a far right-wing system, of course, is way too dickish because it doesn't allow for social safety nets, and it doesn't allow for having equal opportunity and a floor where people can't go below. So you need to have a system that harnesses both aspects of our nature. And that's why, to me, the answer has always been social democracy. So what a social democracy allows is it sets up a system where certain things are off the table, and these are the communal things, the things we all collectively pay for, the things that show how cooperative we are and how kind we are. Those things are, of course, infrastructure, the police, universal education, universal healthcare, universal daycare, just the things that government does that are off the table, unemployment insurance, paid vacation days. Like, these are things, I love those ideas, right? But then I think the goal of a social democratic system is that after you've given everybody the equal opportunity, after you've set up the social safety net and you've made it so that everybody in the society has a good shot, then if somebody fails, you blame it on them. And that's fine. If you've been given an equal opportunity but you don't do shit with it, okay, sorry, sucks for you, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it, right? So that's, to me, that's the point of a social democratic system, is we still care about competition, we still care about individualism, we still care about materialism to a certain extent. I'm not for pure consumerism where that's all you give a shit about. That almost becomes gross and like a weird religion in a way, right? If people care about it too much. We see that a lot in America today. But some consumerism and materialism is perfectly reasonable. Of course, you want a TV, you want an AC, you want a nice comfy bed. Like, some things, of course it makes sense. Some people collect colognes or some shit, whatever. So you want a system that it gives everybody the shot, and then it's on them. You don't want a system where nobody can fail ever, and we're all just holding hands and, having a community-based thing. And you don't want a system where it's pure dog-eat-dog. So social democracy is the answer, and that, of course, incorporates aspects of capitalism and aspects of socialism. It's a mix of both.